Well, welcome everyone. I'm one of the two chairs of the diesel mechanics department at College of Alameda.
Hello, everyone. I'm co-chair and the chassis instructor for the diesel mechanic department at College Alameda.
And we've got a few things to share with you today. I think I wanted to start off by showing you a few slides and pictures of our program, and then give you a little bit of information about it, and then hopefully answer any questions that you might have. Now, this was taken a few years ago, but everything is still pretty relevant, except we've updated some of the trucks you might see in this picture. So our department is Diesel Mechanics Program. We call it DMEC, and we're off on the side of the campus closest to In-N-Out Burger and closest to get, to the campus from when you come through the tunnel. Kind of auto renting, but that's okay. This is our campus. We have built a new building since this came in, and we're also building a whole new transportation technology facility for the campus. And that's our location there at the one corner of the campus. And here is some pictures of inside our facility and the shop. Some of the equipment that we have for students to work with. And we've got some students in these pictures. And also, as we go through these pictures, we've also got some former students who are now working at some dealerships and independent shops that went through our program. Students plumb that whole air brake board, got lots of engine and truck parts that we have students work on for various lab assignments, controls for the cab for the brakes. We've cut trucks into sections and work on those. And we do work on bigger vehicles. Okay, you can see some, the size of those vehicles. We are working on developing a heavy construction equipment program as well. So you could see some of those. See students lifting an engine with our overhead crane. Lots of big toolboxes in this department, and hopefully our yard is going to have this much equipment and yellow iron for us pretty soon. These are some of our former graduates and some of the locations that they work on in the East Bay. And here's some guys that were former students that are on our advisory committee. East Bay Truck. I'm not even sure if they're still there at the moment. These are some of our representatives that we work with, and some of our former instructors that were in this department, and some of the activities that we have. Sometimes we have special classes on the weekends. Some of our cutaways that students can see the models and do things. We have students that are at AC Transit, at BART. I've had students with Muni, water agencies, a lot of the big trucking companies that work for us. We work with the Air Resources Board, and we don't see trucks doing this anymore because of the new technology we've put on them. And we're teaching students all about that equipment and how to keep that up. And I'm going to stop on that. And I want to show you a short video about this. This is students working in the engines lab. And this was one of the semesters right before COVID. So nobody's wearing masks in this, but and hopefully we're going to get to that by fall where no one will need to wear masks anymore. I sure hope that's the case. But these are some of our students working on heavy duty truck engines. They take these engines pretty much completely down. You can see it's got a lot of parts missing on it, and they go through these engines and learn how to how to measure them, diagnose them, inspect them, and rebuild them. And you can see some smiling faces because they really enjoy lab. It's a good challenge, and students really have a good time in our lab. Uh, Both the engines class and the chassis class, but these were pictures that I took, so they were all from the engines class. And there you go. That's a few snapshots. And I'm going to play a short video for you. This is a well-respected program with employers beating down our door. Even during our COVID environment right now, we are getting requests for mechanics and students to get employment. We cannot fill enough of the demand even in this current situation. So this industry is a really good one to get into. They can't fill the roles fast enough. I would say that if you like to work with your hands, you enjoy vehicles, you maybe enjoyed working on your car, you're interested in what makes a truck tick, a heavy duty truck, this is a great place to find all that out. You can go through the whole program, and at the end of that 2 years with your diesel mechanic certificate, you can get a good paying job with benefits in our area and actually manage a living wage in the Bay Area with only a 2-year program. With a couple extra general education classes, you can get your AS degree as well, in addition to the certificate. We really love what we do. We really enjoy working together with our students. We look forward to seeing you here at our DMAC program. Okay, so there you go. Blair, would you like to throw your 2 cents worth in to the students and tell them anything about the chassis program?
Yeah, John and we switch time zones so that you guys can, if you decide to go through our program in the daytime, then you can go through the whole 2 years and both sides, the engine and the chassis side, during that time frame from 8 o'clock in the morning until noon, Monday through Thursday. And of course, there's homework involved. And then if you decide to come through the program in the evening, our classes run from 5:30 to 9:45. And that's Monday through Thursday. And so either way, we have 2 different time frames that you can do. Every year I'll teach chassis in the morning 1 year, and then the following year I'll teach chassis at night, so that you guys can complete the program that way. I cover air brakes, electrical, preventative maintenance, suspensions, steering, the coupler on the truck, transmissions, rear ends. And John is our engine guy. He teaches alternative fuels plus the ISX 15 and the exhaust after treatments. John can go into more about that, but so our first in my first semester, I teach the transmissions, rear ends, and the preventative maintenance, the clutches, and all the suspension, steering, and all of that. And then the second semester, I'm going to teach you air brakes and electrical. There is a little hydraulic component involved in the first semester also that I could talk about. But yeah, you're basically doing exactly what you would be doing out in the field in our shop, in a shop environment. We require you to be in uniform, and our lab assignments are geared to what you would actually be doing in the workplace. And like John mentioned in the video, that After your first or after your second semester, the the employers are beating down our doors looking for interns or our students to come and work for them while they're completing our program. So the as far as the availability for in the job market, there's just it's second to none. I mean, it's like an untold secret. The diesel mechanic industry is starving for technicians. So you have to apply yourself, and but there's a limit. The pay is more than the automotive industry, and so it's not uncommon for some of our when you journeyman out after our program and you finish the apprenticeship, because we teach all the apprentices in the Bay Area, and after they journeyman out, they're making pretty close to $100,000 a year or better. So the living wage is there. You won't start out at that much, but most of our technicians start out at around $20 an hour. But we can't guarantee you a job, but I can tell you this, that none of my students are not one of my students is not working in the industry right now that are in our program this minute. They're all got jobs in the industry.
And I can say that all of my students are working, with the exception of one who doesn't want to start until summer. So, and he's got more than one offer already. So,
You want to explain your side of it, John?
yeah. So in my engines class, we start with the basics around combustion, and then we look at engine construction, what the components are, how they're made, how they're formed. Look at some really cool stuff on machining of these giant engines and how they're put together. We go through all that in the fall semester, and we learn how to tear them down, diagnose them as we tear them down, and inspect the parts. We do a lot of fine measuring on the engine parts with micrometers and vernier calipers, and answer questions on lab sheets and look things up in electronic databases with service manuals and everything. And then in the springtime, we reassemble those engines. We start with a running engine in a cutoff truck, take it down to below where you saw in those pictures. I order parts over the winter break, and then we put those engines all back together and get those trucks running again near the end of spring. And we also look into engine diagnostics. We review electrical, where Blair's class started, and we take that up a notch into how all the computer modules in vehicles talk to each other and communicate, and how to talk to the vehicles and learn about looking at information their modules are seeing, and how to get trouble codes when there's a problem, and then how to go about solving that like a puzzle or a mystery to figure out what the root cause of the problems are and what to do to fix those. And then we finish off at the end of the spring semester with learning about alternative fuels like natural gas engines. And Blair and I are also working on some electric vehicle concepts with some partners, and we're looking at getting into hydrogen fuel cell technology for this department. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this industry, and a lot of changes coming in this industry. All the things we teach will still be around for a long time, but we're trying to branch out and get our students prepared for the big changes coming with autonomous vehicles, self-driving vehicles, including trucks, plus electric propelled trucks. And we were just at one of our local partner dealerships last week, and Blair and I both rode in one of the electric trucks that are going along around the country for one of the major manufacturers. So no more engine, just electric drive heavy duty truck. So a lot of things going on in the works, and a lot of extra extra incentives for students. You can get factory training through us, electronic factory training in addition to our regular curriculum. We've got Isuzu that wants to partner with us and has offered to let our students have Isuzu training. We've got Daimler in our camp, and they have electronic training available for us with Detroit engines and Freightliner trucks, and we have a partnership with another dealership that has Peterbilt trucks. And what else we got, Blair? It's hard to keep up.
Yeah, we're striving to stay up with the technology, but for the most part, the chassis of the vehicle is going to stay the same, just the powertrain inside's changing. So everything's going to be applicable that you will learn in our program. And I think it's really important to let everyone know that you don't have to have any experience in turning a wrench at all. We take you from not knowing what a combination wrench is to understanding the applications for each tool, how to use shop tools. We also teach you how to operate a forklift, overhead crane, stuff like that. So you just have to have the want. We'll take it from there. If you apply yourself, we will get you through this program. Me and John are dedicate our lives to this industry. So we'd be happy to see you in the fall.
Any questions for us? I can share some data depending on what your interest is, but each of our semesters is 10 units. You take 4 semesters of our program, a few general education classes, and you can have your degree. Just taking our core classes plus a small welding class and an air conditioning class, and you get our 2-year program diesel certificate. And employers just absolutely eat that up and love that. And most of them don't even want to wait till you have it. They want you in the door and working with them before you even get your certificate. They're desiring good, dedicated future technicians as soon as they can get you through the door and fill out an application. Long as you can show up on time and listen to instructions, you're gonna do well. If you enjoy this at all and or have any interest in this kind of technology. It's not just turning a wrench anymore. It's a lot of using meters and sophisticated diagnostic equipment and talking to computer modules and so a lot of high technology is involved in this trade these days. It's not the old greasy shop environment that you might imagine that it was in years past.
Yeah, I see that there is a question about the GE classes. So what we have 46 units in the actual diesel program itself, and that involves, like John said, the AC class and a welding class also, besides John and I's classes. However, there is a requirement of 22 general education units. So that'd be your math, history, your ethnic studies, and just basic general education. So altogether, you're going to have 68 units, right, of college credits to get your AS degree. So it's 22 units of general education. I don't know if that answered your question, but those would be classes that whether you pick them up at Laney, Berkeley, or our college, or you already have some general education credits, you need 22 units of general education.
Yeah, a little math, maybe a little English, a little science, and maybe an elective, and that kind of ties it all together, right, Blair?
Yeah, and that'll get you an associate's degree in diesel mechanics, because diesel mechanics would be your major.
And then anyone that wanted to go on, there is a school in the Western United States that does offer a 4-year degree, and our units are transferable. So if you did get your AS degree and then wanted to pursue in a little more
Bachelor's
depth in
degree.
this field, yeah, there is a 4-year degree available up in the state of Washington. And but you can get a fantastic career with just your 2-year your 2-year certificate, and a lot of our students, that's all they've ever wanted. But you also have an opportunity to come back and maybe teach at our school someday with just your AS degree, and some experience in the field.
I have a question. So you mentioned that there are some basic math involved. Is there also support for students who math might not be their strong suit?
Yes.
Yes, the College Alameda has a math lab uh, in the library, and it's all students are welcome to go in there, and they will help you through your general education experience. They have student aids for English, for everything at the college, actually, even having difficulties using some computer programs. There is help for them there in the library.
There's a lot more focus um, within the state, but our college was actually one of the pioneers for the program, where they're immersing you more into the math, and having tutors right there within the class available for you to give you assistance, so that you don't struggle, and so that you don't waste your time on things that you've already learned, and you can just move right through those math classes that for any requirements or any interests that you have. So it's really a great a great program for students now. The math offerings have changed the way they're presented.
So is a high school student able to take the class concurrently while they're in high school?
Yes. Yeah, Blair currently has one student who is in his class while still attending high school in the Oakland district. And his older brother went through my classes and Blair's classes previous to that. So we don't get too many, but we encourage that. Anybody that's maybe in their junior year and they're trying to figure out what they'd like to do in their senior year, you could be attending your high school classes in the daytime, and then come to our program from 5:30 to 9:45 and go through the whole combination lecture and lab classes for the program, and get a year ahead. You could even go in as a junior if you wanted to.
And so what about for career changers? So like someone has a job, would they start the program at night and then finish it in the day once they're have an internship?
Yes.
They can finish the whole program in the evening, or they can finish the whole program in the daytime. It's totally up to them. If they ended up having to switch from nights to days, they'd have to wait until the class came available, because me and John, every other year we switch. But yes, it's possible to um, complete it on different time frames for sure.
Right. And that's what most of our apprentices do. Most of our apprentices that are going through our lecture classes, they've got day jobs, and then they take the night lecture class, and they don't have to participate in the lab classes because they're getting their lab work in the field at work.
Yes, and as far as the cost for the program, I mean, if you're eligible, there is they have funds available for students that need them, but the general cost is under like $3,000 right now, I believe, is what we figured out, and that's even with the starting toolkit, so and your uniform. So, but you can definitely go through the program with student um, funds available through the college. So
We also have scholarships available that are dedicated
right.
just to our department. So those are available each semester. And if anyone that was a veteran that's getting out of the service, the veterans program has a relationship with our department too. So veterans, sometimes come in and take our classes and really enjoy it.
Yeah, so the student aid is definitely available, whether you're a veteran, regular student. The college is really, the state is really stepping up to help out the students. So
thank you for joining us today.
yes, thank you all for coming to our virtual presentation. We appreciate you. Hope to see you in the fall.